The overarching question for today and the future is whether or not South Sudan and Sudan will be able to thrive as separate entities. Since Sudan and South Sudan became independent countries in 2011, numerous conflicts have arisen. In Sudan, the Darfur genocide continues to wreak havoc on the nation. Meanwhile, South Sudan continues to struggle with the seizure of oil by Sudan.
In spite of these issues, the split between the two nations was a good idea. When unified, the North and South had conflicting beliefs and standards that caused repeated civil wars throughout the nation. While only a fraction of the issues were solved by their separation, the only way to minimize turmoil was to split. It is possible for the two nations to thrive only if these remaining issues are solved.
The future of Sudan and South Sudan seem precarious. The stability of their respective futures rely largely on potential improvements that must be made to their governance. North Sudan must shift their economic focus from oil, which comes from dwindling sources and is sold at falling prices, to their livestock and agricultural sectors. These economic sectors, which currently account for 35 to 40% of North Sudan's GDP, could grow to support the country's suffering economy if strengthened by the Sudanese government. Furthermore, North Sudan could increase the ability of its citizens to produce for their economy if the high crime rates proliferated by rampant banditry and ease of arm attainment were kept under control by the Sudanese government. At the moment, it may seem like North Sudan stands on shaky ground, but there is certainly room for them to build up their society. If the Republic of Sudan is able to handle their internal issues and promote economic diversification, they may stand to rebuild and improve the standard of living for their citizens. South Sudan, unfortunately, is situated in a much deeper hole. Their economic foundation is quickly crumbling as oil exports, which account for the vast majority of their GDP in 2014, are rapidly diminishing. In 2015, over half of the population was categorized as being in extreme poverty. The proportion of the population expected to be categorized as being in extreme poverty is expected to increase with the recent famines, which affected nearly half of the country. It seems at the moment that South Sudan is one step from falling apart. Is there any hope for them rebuilding? Probably not. These issues, combined with a government that fails to provide for the communities it abuses, makes us believe that South Sudan will fail to bounce back.